Hello, I'm Bob Ross, and I'd like to welcome you. First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your homes. If this is your first time with us, let me extend a personal invitation for you to drag out your oil paints and paint along with us each week. Let's go over to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. Let's build a happy little cloud. Let's build some happy little trees. There are no limits here. You start out by believing here. You can almost paint with anything. All you have to do is practice. There are no limits here. You start out by believing here. This is your world. You're the creator. Find freedom on this canvas. Believe that you can do it. Cause you can do it. Give it a little touch. Give it a little push. Make love to the canvas. Give it a little touch. Give it a little push. Caress it. Very gentle. Grab it, lift it, fluff it. You can go on and on and on. Back and forth, layer after layer after layer. Let's build a happy little cloud. Let's build some happy little trees. There are no limits here. You start out by believing here. This is your world. You're the creator. Find freedom on this canvas. Believe that you can do it. Cause you can do it. Relax, let it flow. Think like water. Relax, let it flow. You can go on and on and on. We don't make mistakes. We just have happy accidents. You can do anything that you want to do. Total power. Sing along, have a good time. This is your world. You're the creator. Find freedom on this canvas. Believe that you can do it. Cause you can do it. Cause you can do it. I believe every day's a good day when you paint. I believe it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. I believe every day's a good day when you paint. I believe it'll bring a lot of good thoughts.
Hi guys!
Oh,
What up?
how's it going?
Oh my goodness.
So exciting. Welcome to Students Live this week.
We are stoked to have you guys there, and we would love to be connecting with you guys in our chat. But if you are using the chat, be sure to use your real name, not your cat's name or your grandmother's middle name. And be sure you're not spamming, because I promise you, from the depths of my heart, I promise you, that we will mute you and you will not chat, because we cannot allow spamming. But we would love to see all of your answers and engagement.
This is true. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, I think we've got something really cool next.
I think we got something super amazing. And then also, because we just saw that Bob Ross video, did you guys know that he has a brother?
What?
I know, right? And actually, I think we get to spend some time with him in the game. So check this out. What is up, everybody?
Is up?
Hey guys.
Welcome.
Yo.
As everyone knows, my name is Cameron. At least you should be. I'm one of the interns here. And today I am joined by some lovely people. If we can all introduce ourselves. I think.
I'm Ari. I'm a senior girl. I go to Roosevelt.
I'm Jay. I'm a sophomore guy, and I go to Chino Hills.
I'm Chloe. I'm in 11th grade, and I go to Chino Hills High School.
I'm Eloisa, and I am the senior girl small group leader.
Sweet.
And I'm Yoshi, and I'm hosting.
Yoshi's here. If you were watching last week, you can see the embarrassing loss he made.
Oh, I wouldn't say
with the-
embarrassing. I would say
The scavenger hunt.
It's kind of conspiracy that everybody was cheating, and it was all to make me lose. But
yeah, sure. And we thought that we might have some pity on him, so we thought like hosting it would just give him a chance, you know.
Oh.
Just kind of give him
boost
a
the
good
morale.
chance. Yeah. But actually, if you noticed in the intro video, we just had a fun little Bob Ross painting. But actually, what you don't know is that Bob Ross has a brother. And if you can excuse me, he's actually in my room real quick. So if you give me like a quick sec, I'll go call him over real quick. Hey, Rob?
Hey.
Yeah, no, Rob. Yeah.
What is going on
doing
over
something.
there?
You want to come over?
Is
I think
Cameron
we have
okay?
like some cool artists
He
in the
looked
group
like
right
he fell
now.
pretty hard.
No, yeah, it's totally okay. They're like 100% cool. Trust me, they're students.
100%
They'd
cool.
absolutely
That's
love you.
exactly what I needed to hear.
Whoa! What is up? My name is Rob Boss.
Whoa.
I am Bob Ross's brother.
But what happened to Cameron?
Cameron's he's sleeping right now. He called me over and then he
No wonder he
immediately
just
took a
like he
nap.
just kind of went. And
Yeah, and he was
Knocked out.
knocking out and then just like fell right
he said,
over.
"Rob, no."
No. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, the game we are playing is none other. Rob Boss's Pictionary Edition. What's going to happen is that I'm going to give an object for these students and Eloisa to draw and a random amount of time, and we're going to judge and see who's the better artist. You know what I mean? All right. Yoshi, do you have any special words? Do we have a sponsor for today's episode?
Oh, and today's sponsor for today's video is Bob Ross, Rob Ross's brother. He couldn't be here today, but he sent the next best thing. Rob Ross, the better brother.
He did.
Who is his twin brother? If you didn't know.
Yes, he did. We are twins, separated from birth.
Thank you, Bob Ross, for sponsoring this video.
All right, let's jump in. So the first thing I want you guys to draw, you know, it's spring. I think there's a bunch of beautiful animals. There's a bunch of things are blooming. So what if I want a beautiful flower in 15 seconds. Go. Time! Time. That is it. All right.
Wow.
Show the camera and the judges what you have drawn.
Oh my.
Oh, okay. I see some.
This is some exquisite talent out there. Some fine
oh my
artists.
I got an A in art, just saying.
Mine's happy.
It's been a
Mine's
long time
smiling.
since I said
Yeah.
art.
Well, let me tell you guys, if you guys were under my wing, we would make the most beautiful art we could ever imagine.
Wait, it's
Send
not?
it to him, Rob. Send it to him.
Send it. I like Chloe's. I like Ari's. Jay has the happy face.
I'm kind of leaning towards Jay's just because it's like, anybody can draw a flower, but how do you express emotion so much through a flower?
That's very
that
true.
to me.
There's
the true
personification.
Exactly.
Personification.
That's
just
the true skill of an artist.
exuberates.
I'm voting Jay.
But we'll put one. We'll put one for Jay. Jay has one vote. All right. Yoshi, you know Yoshi. I remember when I would travel a lot. One of my favorite things I love to do is that I love to go to the safari.
Okay.
And I love seeing all the amazing animals. But
Right,
you know
the
what
animals,
my favorite
right.
animal is?
Uh-huh.
My favorite animal is the elephant.
Oh, we love the elephants. Okay.
Because
Oh my
it's so big.
Right.
Never seen anything bigger than an elephant.
I
So
know,
I want you
I
guys to
get
draw
that.
me an elephant. You guys got 20 seconds on this one. Go.
Okay.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Dime.
All right.
Oh, we lost somebody.
We lost Chloe.
Forgot what an
We
No.
lost
elephant looked
Chloe.
like.
Oh my
Chloe.
gosh.
Chloe.
No.
She couldn't handle the pressure.
She couldn't handle the pressure.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Okay.
okay.
Oh, this
Still
kinda
It took me a second. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember what an elephant looked like.
Me neither.
Oh man,
I almost forgot
honestly,
his tail.
We
I
gotta get
really
her
like
back real
those
quick.
two. I think Eloisa,
I like-
you really you know, you got a little nose wrinkle in there, and like that ear is just like its piece of sliced ear is pretty sweet.
I thought tortilla chip.
I also got to say, I love how you took the elephant to the whole page.
The whole page. Yeah,
You
it's
just-
actually yeah, it's you
Size.
really encapsulated the size. The essence.
I love how Ari. I love how you separated the nose from its entire body.
Yeah.
You made it its own thing.
And even has extra legs, I think.
Yeah, I
There's
can't
7
really
legs.
tell where its
So
head
many.
is, but I kind of like it. I like the Van Gogh
It's
sort
abstract.
of
Abstract.
approach towards it. It's really
abstract. And then Jay, you got some. It's a good one. Not gonna lie. I mean, I think yours has ears.
It has one ear, I think.
Okay, I just got a magical message from Chloe saying that she's coming back.
all right.
She's if we put it into the universe, she'll come back into the video
All right. Thanks,
and back
Chloe.
into the Zoom call. Although I hope she doesn't cheat, because if there's one thing Rob Boss doesn't like,
It's cheating.
it's cheating.
Mm.
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 I love elephants. I love the springtime, but cheating.
He didn't. No love for the cheat.
Hopefully, at this point,
I don't know if I don't know if I morally feel okay voting without. Oh,
I know. I feel like we gotta see all of our options here. Now,
All right.
now, Chloe, I really hope you didn't cheat.
Not at all. Never.
No, we gave him 20 seconds.
Ah, okay.
Well, did you draw the elephant?
I didn't hear that part.
Oh. All right, give us that quick elephant. Well, the
Give us-
magic
we'll
of
give you-
editing.
we'll give you-
We
we'll
will
give you
see
5
the
seconds.
elephant now.
There's my elephant.
Oh, yes. All right. Now that we're back. Now that we're back, we can see Chloe's elephant.
You know, I gotta say, it's simple and it gets the point across.
It's like
That's
my
subjective.
eye. Honestly, like it's like my eyes don't have to take time. That's what I love about it.
Not at
I'm
all.
like, I'm a busy man. There's a lot to do, in my house.
I got things.
I got to go downstairs. I gotta go
Go down-
upstairs. My eyes don't have time
go up and
to
down.
analyze all this elephant. And that's what this one does for me. It's like, big elephant. I got you.
Boom. It's
I
like,
like it.
you want an elephant? Boom. I got you.
All right, Rob. I think this is your vote.
I kind of, like with Eloisa, she put like the whole elephant on the whole paper. You got Jay with the elephant with the ears, and then you got the 6-legged elephant that Ari, and then you got the. I think for me, if I was opening my own studio with my own gallery, I think I'd put Eloisa's up on there. I
right.
think so. I got
That's one for Eloisa.
we got one for Eloisa.
Alrighty.
All right.
Rob, what would you like to see this time, my friend?
What I would like to see, we talk about, I go outside. You know what I see all the time? I see cars.
Oh gosh.
I just stand out. In my driveway, and what I do now is I just stare at the cars because they're the only thing that's moving. And sometimes the cars move so fast I just can't see them all. You know what I mean?
Too fast.
So I think a really fast car. A fast car. You got 15 seconds. Draw me a really fast car. Cars. Stop. Time.
Stop that time. Go. Stop.
All right.
Oh my goodness. What?
Oh, the vehicles I'm seeing. The vehicles I'm
goodness.
seeing right now. Okay, let's dissect them piece by piece. So starting with Ari's. You got just a beast of a machine. You got just the aerodynamics of that car. Just screams speed to me.
Let's not forget the wheels. I made sure those had rims.
Oh, those are arguably, when we look at cars, the rims are the most important. So I'm glad you incorporated those. Now looking at Chloe's. You're looking at Chloe's. It's just, I could tell, it's just screaming down the highway. You know what I mean, Yoshi?
I get it. Honestly, I look at hers and I'm like, honestly, Lightning McQueen is quaking in his wheels right now. That right there, there is a fast car.
That's a fast car. And then Jay, I see Jay's. It's a big
It's my
car.
Jeep.
It's a Jeep. It's got you know what I like about Jay's. It's like block. You know what I mean? It's like the defining features of the Jeep. He puts it.
It's not trying to be anything else. That's what I'm.
No. And I think that's important. Then we got to look at Eloisa's. Oh, we look at Eloisa's. Now that's a car. That's with the big wheels. I see that. I can see, yeah.
Honestly, I think with Eloisa's that stands out to me is it just kind of reminds me of a house. And you know what? That's probably one of the fastest things of all, because the fast-paced living we're living through, that the constant, constant speed of life. It's kind of a good metaphor, and you know what? It's got a nice little front door on it, and a window
like
for
a home
the room
value
up there.
to it.
Yeah, but all in all, I think after hearing Rob Boss's reviews, I think looking through all of these, I gotta go with Ari's. It looks like a Pokemon to me.
You gotta go with Ari's.
It looks kind of like a Pokemon. And
I gotta say, if there was a Need for Speed, if there was a movie Need for Speed, that car would be in it because there is a need for speed, and that car has speed, so it will fulfill that need for the speed. You know what I mean?
Rob, you're a wise man. Thank you for that.
So smart.
I am. All right. Now, I don't know if any of you know Cameron, but Cameron's a good guy. You know what I mean? He's very talented. He's very smart. He's cool. I mean, I think he's really cool. And you know the cool thing about him is that he likes dragons. And dragons are like they're big, they're scaly, and they breathe fire, and like they're fun. You know what I mean? So I think what I want to see for Cameron, who can't be here right now, I think he would recommend drawing a dragon. So I'm gonna say we're gonna be drawing a dragon, and then I'm gonna be generous because I want to see the talent coming from you guys. So I'm gonna give you guys 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Draw me a dragon. Break it down now. Run, boss. Yoshi. Yoshi, and that's time.
Oh my gosh! Thank God I was gonna pass out. Oh,
All right. Now, I want to
Sweaty.
see, I got to see the mythical creatures that you guys have come up with. All right.
I don't remember what a dragon looks like.
I didn't finish.
You know, Eloisa, if Cameron was here and he heard you say that, he for sure would be filled with disappointment. Oh my God.
Sorry,
All right.
Cameron.
Let's start off. Ari, wow, that is a beast if I ever saw one. The fact, here's the thing. I like the long neck because that just means it breathes hot. Like the fire starts from the belly and then it goes all the way up to the neck and then comes out the down. That's good. You put the anatomy of the dragon is there. And I think that's important. Are those little tiny legs that's walking? Yeah, it is.
those are cute.
Little tiny.
Those are
It's got
very
the scales on the back.
That's the fire.
I think, yeah. I hope it is.
Yeah, I thought it. I
It's not.
kind of wasn't sure if it was throwing up or if it was fire.
Yeah. But if fire. Now, Chloe, she's also got the fire.
Yeah, we do.
Is that a wing or is that a second head? I don't.
It's a wing.
You can't
It's a
really
wing.
tell.
Got the wings right here.
So Chloe's dragon. It's got the four legs. It's got the tail. It's got the wings. Breathing fire. I like the
Got everything.
dish. The head it starts strong and it starts big and then it goes down into the skinny
Neck.
neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a snake. It's kind of
And
like a
it's-
snake for a head.
like a little snake. I like that.
You gave it the scaly feel because you made it look like a snake.
Thank you. I tried.
It looks good. It looks good. Not
So we're talking, Eloisa right here, though. I'm looking at her,
Eloisa.
and it reminds me of the car.
It
kinda-
looks so much like a car.
It kind of looks like it fits right inside the car. It's kind of a mix between a horse and a dragon, but also it's got little tentacle mouth going on.
It's got
That's
a lot of
fire. That's the fire.
I can't really. You know what? I'm just gonna stop talking because I have no idea what's going on there.
you know with Eloisa's there's a lot of heart with it. There's a lot of heart. And I think that's what
Thanks, Bob.
art is. That's what
Yeah.
if you really get down to it, art comes from the heart. You know what I mean?
That's why it rhymes.
That's why it rhymes. All right, now Jay, I'm looking at yours.
He doesn't have legs or another
You know,
arm.
I got
No.
It's a dragon ghost, a floating
Yeah.
dragon.
But he's really buff. See, that's muscles.
that's what I think.
And he's got sharp teeth.
That's what I love, because I think what people don't realize, you don't need legs to be a dragon.
Dragons never skip arm day. Never.
Dragons never skip the arm day. And you got the teeth, you got the buff arms. I like that one. I like here's the thing. If I saw any of your guys as dragons, just like in my backyard, I'd be terrified. Not gonna lie. Every single one of these. Yoshi, I don't know about you. I'd be terrified.
I would be straight up. I don't even know. Especially if I saw Ari's. That would be wild.
It would. But I think, I gotta give this one to Jay. I think the ghost dragon with the buff arms. I
Yeah.
think that
That's
that's the one that's working.
That's the one you would see in your backyard because it's
Yeah.
coming back. It's
It's
gonna
the
come and teach you how to pump iron.
Oh yeah. And I think that's what terrifies me. A dragon that knows how to pump iron.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we got one more. I got one more in me. So I watch a lot of Animal Planet. I got nothing to do, so I'm just sitting at home watching Animal Planet. I love the ocean. So I watched the Ocean Animal Planet.
The Ocean Animal Planet.
The Ocean Animal Planet. And I just love the ecosystems. I just love the ocean. And I love seeing all the fish, and I love seeing all the dolphins. So I want to see a big aquarium. I want to see, like, put a bunch of fish, put some sand, put some crabs. If you put a dolphin in there, that'd be awesome. But I just want to see some ecosystems of the ocean. You know what I mean? Yoshi, how long should this be? Should this be like?
Let's give it. You know what? Let's give this one 27 seconds.
27 seconds. All right, go. Inland Hill. Students. Marley. Shelly. Cameron. Yoshi. Face. Dinosaurs. Rob Boss.
Boss.
Time.
I was following you then.
Time. All right. Oh my goodness. I love these ecosystems.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna do. Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna
Ozark.
cry. These are beautiful.
Ari, I gotta ask. What's in the center?
It's a turtle.
A turtle.
All right.
I thought that was me.
I thought that was a tiny human.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, is that just
I was like,
they're just like, how
we're
did I
trapped
get
in the
here?
aquarium. I love the little fish. I love that. It's, here's the thing. I love it's like minimalistic. And that's what I like about it. It's like you got like the tiny seaweeds, you got the tiny fish, but I think the part that like grabs your attention is the turtle in the center.
The sea turtle, exactly.
The sea turtle. Forgive me. All right, moving on. Chloe, you took up the whole paper.
Yes, I did.
And anytime anybody takes up the whole paper, it's worth mentioning. And I think, Chloe, you do the thing that I do whenever I draw the ocean, and I just put a squiggly line on the top.
It's the surface.
It's to signify that is the surface, and then everything below it is water and ocean.
Exactly.
I love for me. I gravitate to the big shark that I see.
He's even got little tiny teeth.
He's got tiny teeth. What more do you need?
I know.
What more? Big shark.
It reminds me of the dragon.
Reminds me of the very reminiscent. If you were an artist that had like a whole bunch of history, we could be like, oh, see, this is a reference to the dragon that she made way before this. That's what I would say.
They're like distant cousins.
They are.
There you go.
All right. Now, Jay, I'm looking at yours.
Oh, my.
I like your.
So that's
like
the
SpongeBob's
SpongeBob
house?
pineapple? Yeah, there's a
SpongeBob's
crab
house.
and the little
Is
snail.
Gary?
You put
Yeah.
oh my
Mr.
goodness.
Krabs?
Jay, you
And
did a
then
reference.
there's fishes.
I think that's what they call in the art world. It's called a reference. It's when you take something from a popular media and you put it into your own work. You reference it, and I love you chose SpongeBob. You chose SpongeBob. What more can I say from that? You chose SpongeBob, and you made a good choice. You could have chose anything. You chose SpongeBob. And I think that's where it goes. And Eloisa, I'm looking at you, Eloisa.
The full page again. I'm good at drawing the big stuff.
I gotta say, Eloisa, the one thing, you're consistent. I gotta say that about you. Yoshi, how about Yoshi, I need your help on this one.
You know, I'm looking through. I love the turtle. I love the dragon shark. You know, SpongeBob's calling my name, and then yeah, but I can't really tell what kind of fish that is in Eloisa's. I can see a star. Oh, okay. Well, I was like, maybe it's like nighttime
Starfish.
under the water.
Something happened to him.
Yeah, he doesn't have a. They don't have a face. I don't know if they have a face in real life, but all the rest of them are smiling. I like that. You know, that's the only one that makes me happy. I think I have to give. I think I will. I'll let you pick, but Eloisa's is my favorite.
Oof. Okay. You know, I gotta say this. All of yous are artists. You might not know it. You might not see it, but I'm Rob Boss. I have a talent for these things.
He is a legend.
I could see the potential in all of yous.
I believe it.
Are you sure?
For this round, I think I gotta give it to Ari and her turtle.
Yeah.
Well, all
Turtles
right.
rock. Turtles are so great.
Turtles do rock. Well, all right. I think that's all we have. I think, you know, I hear Cameron waking up from his nap. Yeah, I hear Cameron, but I think, like, I gotta go. Give me a quick sec. Guys, it was a really fun time, like, hanging out with you. If you're ever in the area, you just call Rob Boss, and Rob Boss will come, and he'll help you out with whatever you need. But Cameron's
Thanks,
coming right now.
Rob.
He's
Rob.
coming right
See you
now.
later, Rob.
Cameron, he's
You
coming
know,
Great,
honestly, I think Rob is probably the best guy I've ever met. And
Yeah.
I love Rob with all. Oh, Cameron.
Oh,
hey,
hey,
Cameron.
Cameron's back.
Guys.
No way.
Guys, okay.
Hey, man, thanks for like leaving me alone here. I had
Oh,
to,
what happened?
Where'd you
So
go?
I am so sorry. Did I miss out on anything?
Did you fall asleep?
I saw. Okay, here's the thing. I was like going out to see like this random guy that showed up to my house, and then the next thing I know, I'm just asleep, and I just had the weirdest dream. And there was dragons in it, and like there was like big like cars, and like I think there was like an elephant that had like 6 legs or something like
Oh my
that.
gosh.
It was a whole mood. I
Man,
don't
you
know.
were just like out like.
Yeah.
No,
That's a crazy dream.
it hurts. But I guess that's all we have for the game, you guys. Thank you to my lovely contestants. Even though that I didn't get to play the game with you, I'm pretty sure everyone had fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Rob's
It's
a
fun.
great guy.
Yeah.
A stand-up
Sorry.
gentleman.
You know, I wouldn't know. I didn't see him.
Solid dude.
Yeah.
Solid dude, but I think he
Probably gonna
inspired
start
all of
working
us.
on my artwork.
I think he inspired all of us, and we all learned a little something new from him. And
We learned a little something new.
we just want to give a shout out to Rob Boss today. Thank you.
Shout out
Thanks,
to
Rob
Rob
Boss.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be back one day.
Well, all right, you guys. Well, we'll be moving on, and now this.
That was so much fun.
Oh my goodness, dude. Bob Ross's brother. Who would have known?
I know,
I didn't see
right?
it
That
coming.
game, we have some like seriously some creative students in there,
Seriously,
and like they
right.
can handle the pressure. You know what I mean?
And
So-
Eloisa, she came through.
She did. You know, it was a good one. But hey, guys, you know, I have definitely been missing the beach, and I think one of my favorite thing is picking up seashells. But today we have a special message from Shelly. So you guys can go ahead and check that out right now.
Hi guys, it is so good to be back with you again on a Wednesday night for Students Live. I cannot wait until we can return and actually do this for real live. But in the meantime, we're talking through this series called Quarantine is Rough, because we are completely and absolutely aware that the life we're living right now is actually pretty rough. So we wanted to, instead of just glossing over that, we want to have a lot of fun. We do that for sure in Students Live. But instead of just glossing over that, we just want to dive right in and hopefully have a conversation about how to walk through this well. So this week we're having a conversation about grief. which is kind of unique because I think, and I thought this for a really long time, that most of our world thinks that grief really just applies when someone has lost a loved one. When someone they know has passed away, that's when you experience grief. But as it turns out, grief actually happens anytime we experience loss. So right now, during coronavirus, and we're all in this shelter-in-place order, we're experiencing loss. That's everything from not being able to see our family and our friends, not being able to go to school, loss of a regular sense of normal life. It could be a loss of some of our parents losing their jobs. It's even something as simple as the loss of being able to go get In-N-Out Burger without an hour wait. The loss of normal life actually causes grief. And grief causes some really real normal emotions that look anything from like anger or just being irrationally agitated or sadness or depression or feeling insecure or unaware of what's going to happen. And so many other emotions that I didn't even name just right now. Grief causes all of those things. But the thing is that sometimes in this society and in the way that we live our life, we can look at what everyone else is going through and think, well, gosh, I don't have it as hard as them, so I really shouldn't be sad. I really shouldn't be angry. And we have these emotions about our emotions, and so it causes us to take our emotions and try and put them in a box and put them away and walk away from them and ignore them. But the problem with that is that grief is just simply not able to be contained. It's not something that can just be put in a box and walk away. Grief just keeps hitting. And for me, the reason why I wanted to do this message is because I feel strangely, uniquely qualified to do so. See, yes, coronavirus is happening, but for me, since August of 2018, for the last 19 months, I've experienced the tragic and unexpected loss of someone close to me almost every 2 to 3 months. It's actually been about 7 deaths that I've experienced in only a 19-month span. People that I really know well or once knew well. And then also in the midst of all of that, about a year ago, for no known reason, I got a bunch of tests done. I think it's stress, but sometimes I lose the loss of my hands. They'll just become so painful that I can't use them. So there's all of that, and then lots of other change and different things happening that has caused so much loss and so much grief that I've been forced to just learn how to deal with grief because otherwise I wouldn't be standing here still. And the thing that I've learned about grief is that you can't shove it down, you can't put it off to the side, it always comes out. But I have a choice. Even though I've hated this season of grief, I've learned that I have a choice in the matter. I can continue to try and put my emotions to the side and pretend that they don't exist. The only way to really do that well is to become a zombie and not have any emotions anymore. And that's absolutely not what I wanted. And the other side of that choice then is to walk through it. And I didn't want to for a really long time because I actually was afraid of my feelings. I was afraid that if I walked through the grief and I felt the emotion, I felt the feelings, that I would just become this sad person. I would be known as a sad person and would not recover from that. But thankfully, having walked through this journey for a long time now, I can tell you that that just simply isn't true. What turns out, what happens instead is that choosing to walk through the grief, to face those emotions, means that I meet God in some really special and unique places that I've never met him before. It means that I process it and I walk through it. And then that emotion is done for that moment. And I can keep being the Shelley that I want to be, the Shelley that I'm proud to be, but while also carrying grief at the same time. And that's okay. So I want to ask you, and I want to tell you that because this situation that we're in, this coronavirus, this shelter in home series and season that we're in is really hard, you guys. There's a lot of loss. And sometimes those emotions will hit us and we'll be so surprised by them. And I want to encourage you to not shove them to the side, to not pretend that they don't exist, but to choose to face them and to walk through them. In this season where I've been walking through this, I've had lots of amazing people come alongside me, some counselors, my small group, my husband, staff members of the church, just amazing people, but nothing more so than the Word of God has come so alive to me. I've learned in this season that God doesn't want my fakeness. He wants nothing to do with it. He doesn't want my I'm fine, it's fine, everything's fine attitude. What he wants instead is just me, no matter what state that I'm in. And I learned that actually by reading it in the Bible. One of my favorite passages in this series has been Psalm 31. This season of grief that I've been in, this psalm has spoken to me in ways that I'd really never heard before. I didn't know that grief was such a huge theme in the Bible, that God's people can and will experience it, but that God meets them right in the middle of it. So I want to read part of this psalm to you because to me it finally showed me that what I need to do is to be real, and I have permission to be real. And then also to remind myself of who God is and the joy that I have because of him. So I'm in Psalm 31, and I'm going to start in the middle of it because it's actually a long psalm, and I recommend you read the whole thing. But for the sake of time, I'm going to start at Psalm verse 7. It says, I will be glad and rejoice in your unfailing love, for you have seen my troubles. David, the one who's writing this, he's talking to God. He says, you have seen my troubles and you care about the anguish of my soul. You've not handed me over to my enemies, but you've set me in a safe place. And then he goes on, and here's where the realness comes in. In verse 9, he says, have mercy on me, Lord, for I am in distress. Tears blur my eyes. My body and my soul are withering away. I'm dying from grief. My years are shortened by sadness. I'm scorned by all of my enemies and despised by my neighbors, and even my friends are afraid to come near me. He's being so honest about his particular situation. And then he says, skipping down in verse 14, this is where David, reminds himself of the joy that he has because of the Lord. And he says, but I am trusting you, O Lord, saying you are my God. My future is in your hands. Rescue me from those who hunt me down relentlessly. Let your favor shine on your servant. In your unfailing love, rescue me, Lord. I love this because he says that God has seen his troubles and he cares about the anguish of his soul. You guys, that's so true. It was true for David and it's true for us. Our job in this season of coronavirus is to experience life and to do the things that you're supposed to do. But when emotions hit, when that grief hits, take the moments that you need to walk through it. Bring God in on the process. He can take it. He can take your anger. He can take your sadness, your loneliness, every ounce of it. Walk with God through that. And then remind yourself of those joys, the joy of what it means to follow God. That this is not the end. This is not all there is to life. There is so much more in store, not just after coronavirus, but for eternity. And I want to encourage you as well. Right now in the chat, there's going to be a thing that you can click on. We want to encourage you to talk about this, because some of you need to talk it out in order for you to even realize what emotions it is that you're feeling. And so we want to encourage you to talk to your small group leaders or talk to one of us on staff. You can just click that button and it'll start a private conversation that you can have with one of us right now. And then right after we finish this service, we're doing Zoom groups where you can have the opportunity to talk in there as well. But if that's overwhelming and that's strange, then let us know. Talk to your small group leader offline or in a separate conversation, or just anything. If you don't have a small group leader, let us know. We want to help with this process. We're here for you. You're not in this alone. And we want you to know that God is with you. He's the source of your joy. And when you're in community, you have the opportunity to learn that so well through other people as well. And I don't want you to miss it. Thank you so much, guys. Let's go talk about this a little bit more with the rest of the team.
Wow. Okay. So I feel like our best shot now is to talk this through with all of us, which I am a little bit excited about, because I think that with the four of us, we kind of stand in a pretty like side to side of like one end of the spectrum and another end of the spectrum when it comes to emotions. But I think that's a really, really, really good thing, because we know that you students out there are not exactly like me or Cameron or Marley or Greg, but you might be a conglomeration of any of the four of us. And so hopefully this conversation will be really helpful to you guys. So the first question I wanted to ask is just sort of like a real quick one, just get an idea of how all of you guys like fall on it. So do you guys tend, when you have emotions, when you're experiencing grief, like especially right now and during coronavirus, so like how you used to react like 2 months ago, whatever, right now, how are you doing with emotions and when they hit? Like, are you tending in this time to run away from them, or to let yourself feel them, or like, do they overwhelm you? Like, how does that sit with each of you right now during coronavirus?
I can start. I think for me, so just to give, a brief overview of myself, I am not an emotional person. Besides being happy and laughing, you're never going to see me like show anything else. I think part of that is just due to, I don't know, for a lot of guys growing up, it's just frowned upon to show a lot of emotions, especially when you grew up in a little bit of a rougher group like I did. Because if you do show those emotions, either it's seen as weak or it's going to make them want to mess with you more. And so I just naturally don't show emotions. As for my emotions and how that's going during this time, I think that it's easy for all of our emotions to kind of play out in a physical form. And so if you're feeling depressed, it might result in sleeping more. If you're feeling bored, it might result in eating more. Lord knows I go to the fridge 5 times in a half an hour to see if there's anything different in there when there isn't. And so I think for me, with my emotions during this time, is that it's made me feel like I'm just like trapped, and that like the walls are caving in because I can't go out. I can't go to all the places that I once held dear. And it's like at that point where you just want to sit in the car and listen to music to remind yourself of what it's like to actually drive somewhere. But that's just me.
Yeah, I think for me, I totally agree with Greg, where kind of having emotions as a guy is kind of being frowned upon when you're growing up. But I think that I have learned to develop a more sensitive side, which I'm grateful for because it gets me in tune with my emotions a little bit better. But also the bad thing is that it gets me in tune with my emotions more. And for me, the way that I process emotions, where I'm kind of blind to them, where I don't understand them and I don't know like what's going on. So I kind of like tend to like forget that they're even happening until somebody can point something out, or until somebody else can explain what's happening, and then I'll understand and I'll be like, wait, that's right. This does suck. So I think also during this time, like I haven't been able to have anyone to process any emotions with. So I'm left with my default of avoiding all that stuff. And I avoid it either by playing video games, like napping, like eating, and just doing like all this stuff that's just distracting me from my emotions. So that's what I'm doing.
Totally fair.
I feel like for me to like kind of give background like Greg did, I grew up kind of in an environment where shoving emotions down and just pushing through made more sense, because like there was just a lot going on, and I had younger brothers that I cared for and wanted to take care of. And so it was like, my emotions don't matter. I'm just going to shove them down and worry about everybody else's. And so I think for a really long time, that's how I operated. And then I got to college and I met people who were like, that's really unhealthy. And I was like, cool. And so I think because of having those conversations, and people showing me like ways that I can grow in like feeling my emotions and everything, it's really helped me like get to a place where, a lot of people will say I'm really joyful, and chances are, like, if you've had a conversation with me, I have a huge smile on my face and I'm hyped up all the time, because that's just kind of how I live. But it doesn't mean like I don't have bad days. I think sometimes like that's something that I struggle with, even in a season like this, where there are a lot of those hard emotions, is knowing that everyone sees me as this like joyful, fun person, that like they don't think that I also have hard days. And so I think that sometimes can even influence the way that I deal with the hard emotions, because it's like, well, everyone sees me as this like positive person, but I'm having a really bad day, but everyone knows me as positive. So if I'm not positive, like what's going on here? And so I think lately with like being with my brothers, like the initial like emotions have come out with like just frustration. And I notice that when I get like really frustrated with them about like really, really little dumb things, it kind of makes me step back, and I realize like, okay, there's like deeper emotions here that like, because I don't want to shove down my emotions anymore, because it's not good for me, like I need to find time to like work through that and like talk about them. And so for me, sometimes like that's just like finding a quiet place. And like yesterday I was having like a bad morning, and so I like came into the room and I like closed the door and I just like talked out like everything, like just out in the open, that I was like feeling and how frustrated I was, and like all different thing, like a really, really like raw, rough draft of like, this is where I'm at and this is all crazy. And it was really nice to just like have that outlet. So sometimes like that's the outlet, and then other times we talk about it all the time, because I think it's one of the greatest things ever, but I journal and I'll like write it all out.
Awesome. Thank you. I think that something you guys have all kind of alluded to, but haven't quite said it in this way, is like in this time and like day and age, like we tend to have like emotions about our emotions. So like Cam or Greg or Mara, like you might begin to feel a little bit of anger, but then you're like, well, no, I shouldn't feel angry right now. Like someone else has it worse than me. Or like, I really shouldn't feel like such a sense of loss, because like my parents still both have their jobs, and like those kinds of things. Like we tend to have emotions about our emotions and almost shame ourselves into feeling those emotions. And so then that can like stop us in our tracks, and then we just don't process it. So in the spirit of being honest, like what are some of the ranges of emotions that you guys have experienced through coronavirus? Like I know for me, I felt everything from a lot of anger and agitation and frustration, to sadness and like loss, but then also like really confused, or even just kind of like small, like in the grand scheme of everything that's happening. So what are some of the emotions that you guys have experienced, just like naming straight what those are?
Yeah, so I think during this time, one emotion that I talked about, and I talked about this last week, is just feeling insecure. I'm not able to go to places that once filled my time schedule. So I have to get work done at home. I hate doing online classes. I can't go to the gym or something. I have to figure out stuff on my own. And so just feeling insecure, feeling like I'm not doing enough. And then you go to the fridge and you eat and you wish you weren't eating as much as you are eating. And so it just builds and builds and builds. But at the same time, I'm not good at just feeling out my emotions. Like I'm not good at feeling sad. I'm not good at feeling mad. Not that I act those out, but I just don't feel them at all. And so I'm just like a blank canvas, and it's as though I don't allow anything to crack through the surface.
Yeah. I think for me, I know we talked about it, I think like a couple weeks ago, but I've definitely been having like the feelings of like anxiousness and everything that comes with that, feeling overwhelmed. And then also, I think I mentioned that I was having a sense of like almost like worthlessness, and like I'm stuck at home and I can't do anything like physical, you know, like in the real world. And then also just in a sense of, I don't know what the emotion is, but like one big sigh. Like, you know, like it's the thing of like, oh man, like I miss doing this, and I miss like going out and seeing my friends. I miss seeing like all the students on Wednesday night, like just that like big sigh of, you know. So that's me.
I think for me, I felt like angry, really like you said, agitated. I felt sad. I felt lonely at times just because like I'm not surrounded by all my friends, and I can't necessarily like go out and hang out with all my friends. And even though I have a huge family, like my friends mean a lot to me. So definitely like have felt loneliness. My anxiety has like flared up at moments, and it's always like kind of going along with like confusion of I'm just really anxious, and I'm like, why am I so anxious? Like nothing happened. I just made toast. Like what's going on here? And so I think like feeling like really anxious at times and confused about this like circumstance, scared of the unknown, like just like getting caught up in these moments where it's like, I mean, like when is this going to be over? And like, what is my life going to look like after? And like, what am I going to do when this is all over? Where am I going to live? Like, am I going to go to my mom's, my dad's, like all those different things. So there's definitely like a really, really wide range of things that I've felt during COVID.
Absolutely. I found myself like watching like a YouTube video or something that, or a show that like I've seen a million times before, and just like crying significantly harder than I ever have before, or just having like way more emotions than I'm used to having.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do you guys do when those emotions hit? I know, Cameron, you said that sometimes you don't feel the emotions, but like when you get the opportunity to feel them, what do you do? All three of you. I know I just called out Cameron, but I want to hear from all three.
I mentioned that I kind of need somebody to kind of call out what's like my emotions are, or like kind of like to put it into a different perspective so that I can be able to process that more. So like with that, it involves letting a trusted friend kind of just like talk in my life, kind of just be like, yeah, that person said that one messed up thing, and he was like they'd be like, I didn't think that was cool, and it was like, wait, that person did say a messed up thing, you know. But now I think it's more that I still try to reach out to my friends and still try to call them and just text them. And I just think, honestly, just having time with God and just kind of like praying it out and just having everything out in the open, being like, God, I have no idea what's happening. This is what I'm feeling right now. I don't know why I'm feeling like this. Is there a reason? I don't know. So, and even like, I think just getting it all out there, it's sort of relieving, and it's sort of just like getting that all out with that sound effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think for me, something that's really important to me is I do something where I call it creating a sacred space. And so before COVID, for me, that was like going or like exercise in the morning. And now it's like going on a run or a walk and just listening to a podcast or listening to music, and helps you get out of your typical environment, especially an environment that might be causing those emotions, and get you into a fresh space where it's almost like a clean canvas to where you can paint your own picture while you're working through things. And so for me, that would be just create a sacred space that you can work through those emotions. And working through emotions is not just expressing emotions. It's understanding why you're feeling that way, finding the root of it. And then once you find that root, it's easier to identify what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, because you've worked through those emotions.
Yeah, that's really good. I think for me, it can look from like journaling, where I'm just like writing to, and that's like my time with Jesus, where I'm just journaling just all of my feelings and all of my emotions. And sometimes it looks like texting a friend and being like, this is my circumstance. Like, this is where I'm at. I'm really frustrated, or I'm really nervous, or really scared. Like, I really need some counsel, like just someone to like help me work through like what I'm feeling and how to deal with it. Sometimes recently, I'm not like super good with sharing my emotions with my family because I'm like, ew, that's gross. But with like being around them so often, it's kind of made me a little bit more vulnerable with them. Like when I do like pop off, which is not good, but like when it happens, like coming back and being like, I'm really sorry, like that I acted that way, or I said that, like I'm having this kind of day, like I'm feeling this way, and it's making me like extra sensitive to just different things that you're saying. And another thing, working out has been a really big thing too. That's a really good way for me to like, if I'm feeling overwhelmed with my emotions, I'll just do a workout, and that'll typically like help me calm down.
I like that a lot. Getting out that energy. That's so good. Okay. And last question is just, it's important for us to understand that we have emotions and we have grief, and that's okay. Like that's just the season that we're in right now. But then also like just the reality that we can hold on to joy, because that's what God gives us. So what are the things that, I mean, you may have already answered it a little bit, but like, what are the things that help you hold on to joy as well as like walking through the emotions for you?
I think for me, it's gratitude. I think, actually we did like a little family Bible study this morning, and one of the verses I picked, it talks about, it's Colossians 2:7, and it talks about being rooted in Christ, and with that, like producing fruit, or like doing like awesome things for the kingdom, and with that also having gratitude. And I think for me, it's just like practicing gratitude in my day-to-day that helps me remember like, okay, God is still doing something.
Yeah, I think a great place to start is to watch our video that we had on Instagram of Heidi. I think walking through what we're going through and experiencing and helping us breathe deeper is a phenomenal way to start. I did that exercise and it works wonders, you know?
Cam, do you have anything?
I don't know. Those are all good. I think for me, it's just leaning on God more, like during this time, and kind of understanding that He has promised us so many things, and that He is a God that doesn't like skimp on those promises, you know? Like at some point, even though as much as we want it to be like immediate, it won't. Got to trust in Him, you know? So that's for me.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, you guys. Right now, we're going to cut over to our worship team and have some awesome time of worship.
Hey guys, we're going to introduce a new song to you tonight. It's called Graves into Gardens. And I just love the name of this song because it describes what God does for us in times of struggle. How He can take something so dark and cold and seemingly lonely and turn it into something beautiful. The bridge of this song says, "You turn mourning to dancing, you give beauty for ashes." Y'all, when times are hard, when they're tough, it's hard to see the beauty, right? But we know that God will show up because we've seen Him show up before. And He'll show up again, and we'll be able to experience joy again. So we're going to sing about that tonight as we worship.
I searched the world, but it couldn't
fill me. Man's empty praise and treasures that fade are never enough. Then you came along and put me back together, and every desire is now satisfied here in your love. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing, nothing is better than you. I'm not afraid to show you my weakness, my failures and flaws. Lord, you've seen them all, and you still call me friend. 'Cause the God of the mountain is the God of the valley. There's not a place your mercy and grace won't find me again. Lord, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing, nothing is better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing, nothing is better than you. You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn graves into gardens. You turn bones into armies. You turn seas into highways. You're the only one who can. Lord, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing, nothing is better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing, nothing is better than you.
Let's continue in worship. Let us experience God's love tonight as we sing about his love. Father, let us feel your embrace as we worship you tonight. We sing to you. Yes, Jesus.
When darkness tries to roll over my bones, when sorrow comes to steal the joy I own, I won't be shaken. 'Cause my fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. Shame no longer has a place to hide. And I am not a captive to the light. I'm not afraid to leave my past behind. I won't be shaken. No, I won't be shaken. 'Cause my fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. And my fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love.
Sing this, there's power.
There's power that can break off every chain. There's power that can empty out a grave. There's resurrection power that can save. There's power in your name. Power in your name. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. And my fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. When I'm standing in your love. Oh, when I'm standing. When I'm standing. Oh, when I'm standing. When I'm standing. Oh, when I'm standing in your
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love that song, Graves into Gardens. I love that song because it's just another way of how God can change like all of our situations. How one of the lyrics is he turns seas into highways and he turns bones into armies, and it's just so good because God is so good, right?
Amen.
All right.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to pray us out. So if you guys will join me. Father God, talking about emotions can be difficult for some of us. Some of us, we still don't know how to process, how to handle it in a healthy way, or just any at all. But Lord, I pray that during this whole COVID-19, during the whole coronavirus, that we can press into our emotions, not ignore them and not almost self-implode, but trust in you, Lord, and that we can lean on you and that we can look to you with hope, God, with hope that this will be over, that we can get over this, and that we will ultimately be okay because you are on our side. So, Lord, I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 And that's it.
So now we're going to be jumping into our Zoom groups. And honestly, guys, if you haven't joined one of our Zoom groups, you're just denying yourself this amazing community that you can be a part of. You can engage with them, talk about life, and really go to someone as opposed to just sitting in your room or front room all alone with your dog or cat. And so Zoom groups are the perfect way to be connected no matter where you are, no matter what your situation looks like. And we will be posting the links right here in our chat. All you have to do is click on it, join a Zoom group, and have the best time ever. We can't wait to see you guys throughout the week on Instagram, and be sure you're keeping up with all things IHC students. We'll catch you guys later.